As the COVID crisis goes pandemic, Cuba closes its borders and kicks us out. We were low on food, fuel and water, but the Cuban military didn't want to hear any of that.
You have to go now!
And they escorted us out into international waters. We sailed to Jamaica, but are refused entry. We next try the Dominican Republic, but they kick us out too. Our only other option is Haiti, but we are forced out of the country and have to exit through reefs and shoals in the middle of the night. I was finally getting the hint. We would have to fend for ourselves on tiny islands in the middle of the Caribbean. Day 62 of our ordeal finds us leaving this tiny island here, going in search of another tiny island in the middle of nowhere so we can hide out again and wait for the world to become normal. This is part of the uncertain sort of weather we're going to get in the next day or two. We've got that trough in the Gulf of Mexico and possibly might lead to a low. It's sucking in all the wind from the northwest Caribbean. Jamaica's going to get 30 knots tonight, and this place is not a good place to anchor in 30 knots because we've got the full moon. Well, full moon was yesterday. We're going to have big waves and the tide is going to be going over the reefs. There's no protection, so there's a chance we'll drag, but let's just go south. We're going to go about 140 miles to a place called Serrano Bank, hopefully. I don't know if it's a good anchorage or not, but the winds are 17 to 22 tonight. Margarita is again not feeling the best, and it will get worse tonight with the strong winds, but we have to leave. In any case, the best thing for us is to be at sea when the winds are the strongest, where we can handle them the best. The wind was really strong last night, so much so we are 7 hours too early on a 28-hour trip. I slow the boat down here and heave to and wait for all this overcast to hopefully burn off. I must be close to this island because the number of birds has increased dramatically. Heaving to, I simply drag the staysail over to the windward side and ease the main a bit, and then I put a bit of shock cord holding the wheel a little to windward. The clouds burnt off and it was time to sail. With the chance usually being about 1.5 miles out, I need good sun above so I can see the reefs. We just had one wave slap on the side, bigger than normal. Whoa, like a geyser. I dived in here, I'm alright, just got a bit wet. Margarita got the brunt of it and she's not feeling too good, she's seasick still. So, this is crazy. We're hurling into an unknown reef at 8 knots. This is our 4th hour. We can't get contact with the reef. We don't know. I'm just trying to go in at a shallow angle so as soon as I can see a depth reading, then I know we're close. Okay, finally we've got contact with the reef. I can see sand. We are in 8 to 10 feet of water with bommies all around to avoid. We have reefs behind us and up front to the left and also to the right of us, but there's the bloody K. We arrived at 6:30 AM and it's now 2 PM. That's 7.5 hours of worry. The most important thing now is to get Margarita off the boat and onto stable land so she can recover. Barely 2 feet above high tide, this is a booby bird manufacturing island with about 200 nests. See, the birds are good at aiming. I could see him looking at me and he flew and he adjusted his flight path and he got me.
Of a turtle. You can see the spreading away almost, but you can still see the flaps.
And that's where it's laid the eggs, right there. I think you should have laid your egg up there, mate. I don't like its chances on high tide. Margarita is going to be starving from the trip down. She didn't eat a single thing. Not that we had much, just one crab for the both of us. Come on, Plucky, you know the drill. Operation Feed Margarita.
With our luck being less than optimal, I really need a big score. It's time to catch a big fish. I saw a large tail flick over there. Let's go check it out. There is a nice big snapper right there. I've come in low and slow and it is not spooked. So far, so good. I'm waiting for the right moment when both the fish and the surge are coming towards me. That way, as it turns, I'll have a fraction of a second longer to get closer and shoot. And there is its fatal error. This fish is a godsend. That's 7 days of food right there, and I also can dry some just in case. These two sharks would turn up twice a day, so I thought I'd give up my barbecue fish head for some fun. Good old morale building tug of war with a shark. You just can't beat it. For those that haven't done conch before, it's easy. Make a small hole after the two big rows of knobs, get a flexible knife and slide it along the shell through the hole as far as you can go a few times to cut away the conch from the shell. Turn the conch over, grab the claw and pull. If it doesn't come away easy, go back to the knife and cut some more. Check out this little hermit crab. Cut away all the skirts and skin looking parts. Cut off the claw, cut through to the gut channel and clean this out. If you don't know where this is, you can feel this channel with your fingers. It's pretty obvious. Now this is the most important part. Bash the hell out of it. The Cubans don't bash them at all, but pressure cooker them as very thin slices, but they are still chewy. I still think it's best to bash them.
It's orange tea with cinnamon. It's with the orange that when we had orange, I usually peel them, and lemons too, and I dry them, I keep it in a jar, then we make tea.
Margarita wanted to take me on a tour from the smallest chicks to the biggest and fluffiest. Here is Darwinian theory at the lowest level. One of the chicks is more aggressive and will force the other out, so it will die.
Margarita, Margarita, we've got to go. Margarita, there's a boat stop behind us.
Why does this keep happening to us? But this time I thought it was a false alarm, because I've had the radar watch over the last few nights on, and it's been getting triggered, I think, by behind us there are reefs and the waves pile up, and I think that's triggering off the alarm. So when I heard the alarm late at night, I just simply turned it off. I went out to hang a piss anyway. But it was right this time, and there was a boat coming. And look, it didn't look official. There were no like green lights, red lights, or an overhead white light or a backlight, because we've had a couple of tankers go through and they're lit up like Christmas trees. But this one, it just had a glow, like I'm colorblind, so it could be red or orange or something like that. And it was coming past the reef, and I watched it for about an hour. I didn't wake the poor Margarita up again, because we all know what's going to happen.
Well, I did wake up, but I don't bother anymore because it gets triggered by the swell. So I just roll up again and try and fall asleep.
That's my girl. So I followed it for about an hour. It moved quite quickly past the reef, but then it started slowing down, and it pulled up station right behind us. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. And then the dim light went dimmer, but I could still faintly see it. I don't know how far it was behind. It's just too hard to judge. But this didn't feel right to me. And so...
You woke me up.
Yeah, damn straight.
And I thought, oh, if he's waking me up, this must be serious, because he had a scary face. He was afraid. And I said, oh no, this is bad juju. And then he said, we need to move. I said, it's middle of the night. It's dark. We cannot see anything. He said,
doesn't matter.
We're moving.
I had a bad feeling,
and I
people.
said, okay, we're moving.
The key to surviving this was speed. Less than 5 minutes later, we were exiting this reef in complete darkness. Crazy, absolutely crazy. But I wasn't about to stay here. I had my safe sector on my compass for exiting. I didn't dare put on the chart plotter. It was way too bright. If indeed they were about to play pirate with us, I needed to be sailing away before they could get their small boats in. Unless they were extremely lucky, they wouldn't be able to find us in the dark. Their small dim light ironically gave me enough reference to stop oversteering and hitting a bloody reef. Thanks, pirates, for that.
Okay. Straight. Right. Alright, we're up and sailing. We're away. The other boat hasn't moved, so maybe they anchored. We were running out of places to go to. Our next reef on the list was Roncador Cay, only about 50 miles away. With any luck, we would be there before noon. I was just thinking about what to do next when we get a message from our Tampa dad. Although officially closed, Panama apparently had let a few boats in unofficially, and they were quarantining under anchor at Bocas del Toro. This was only 330 miles away from where we were right now. That's only a 2 or 3 day sail, but I'd stop here overnight to give Margarita some relief. Ideally, coming into an unknown reef, you drop sail and manoeuvre slowly between the coral heads under motor. But I have a feeling we are going to need every drop of Colombian fuel to get us into Bocas in 2 or 3 days' time. So I tack and weave under sail between the reefs. A nerve-wracking experience with reefs suddenly appearing out of nowhere. 2 hours later, we were anchored. After so many weeks and over 600 miles, we could finally get some rest. Real rest, knowing we had a place to go to. No more anxiety about being prepared and ready to leave at a moment's notice. No more worry about pirates in the middle of the night, and no more worries about water. We were finally reprieved. Very easy day sailing. Up until about an hour ago, we were averaging a bit over 7 knots, so we've done quite a good run today. On the forecast, we're going to probably be about 50 or 60 miles short, so maybe 10 and 12 hours short of our destination before the predicted thunderstorms and squalls. But let's hope we miss them anyway. I mean, it doesn't really matter. The worst for us now is to be in absolute calm because the wind's supposed to drop, and then we'll be in swell and we'll go beam on. We've had 2 weeks of that, as you know, and that was just terrible. I'd much rather 35 knots for an hour at a time here and there. It doesn't matter which way it's pushing me. At least we'll have a sail filled and the boat will be steady. Anyway, let's see what happens with tomorrow. All things good, it's going to be another day and a half, I think. So unfortunately, it's at night time when we're going to get the squalls, and the moon is only going to make its appearance at about 5-ish in the morning. So it's going to be dark night. So that's going to add to the difficulty. So probably a sleepless night tomorrow night. We're 80 miles out to sea and this land bird shows up. I'm so happy for it, I don't really care if it shits on the boat or not. Check out that. Well, the waves are squared up, so we're not rolling as much, so it's pretty well pushing us along. We're only doing 4 knots because I just don't want to push the motor, because anything higher in the revs, well, we know it overheated and we broke down in Cuba right at the start, or the day before. The Cubans said, "You gotta go." I don't think it's going to be squally at all. With all the high cloud, I think it sort of shut down all the convective stuff, so I think we're going to just have a pretty well benign night. We just got a motor. Well, we got plenty of Colombian fuel, thanks to the Colombians. I still think they're the nicest people in the Caribbean. We just got this for another, 25 more hours, because we're barely making 4 knots. I think we've got a slight current against us. Anyway, hopefully it's an uneventful night. Hopefully the motor keeps on keeping on. We've still got the bird here. Don't tell Margarita she didn't like birds that much. She thinks they got coronavirus. I got in trouble with the pigeon in Cuba because I wanted to save it. We won't go into that. I'm not going to show the footage of that. It's quite alarming. Anyway, it's all good.
Time to check in by radio.
We have Brazilians!
So what happened? What happened? You're speaking Portuguese?
Yay!
Oh.
There's two sailing vessels here. They are from Brazil. So we gave you all the information where we should enter, where we park the boat, and as soon as we park it on the spot that is designated for the quarantine, we should hail to port captain, if not for the aeronaval, and then everything will start rolling as according it should be for the jail time.
But the main thing is, we're getting let in! Whoa! Well, that's a relief. The biggest worry was Margarita's beautiful smile and her anxiety over the last 2.5 months. But anyway, we're getting let in. And I'm most happy about the pineapple!
We got papaya, mangoes, bananas, apples, carrots, tomatoes, lemons, and I asked for chicken too,
And then quite suddenly, Margarita's smile miraculously reappeared. So there was not a cloud on our horizon at all. But then...
A week gone by for our quarantine, and 2 Spanish boats were kicked off with no apparent reason, so we might be the next ones.
Yeah, Margarita was really, really worried. I didn't really care. I just wanted to get fruit and then go back to the Colombian reefs. But we had some issues. When our quarantine ended and we started seeing the port captain and getting all the papers ready, we had a problem with the immigration. They wouldn't stamp our passports. Now, I didn't think it was a big deal because I just thought it's just the time at the moment. They're not stamping the passports because they don't know what's going on.
They were not issuing visas to anyone. So that was the reason. So we were in the limbo.
Mm.
We were not officially in the country. The boat was, but not the human ones.
Not the human ones, that's right. So, but we thought, okay, we've done our quarantine, we could just go on land and do some shopping. And we did, and we went on land and we saw some stuff and it was quite good. And then the immigration lady was riding past us on her bicycle and she stops and she goes, "What are you doing off your boat? You don't have a stamp. You can't be off your boat." And we said, and then I went, "Well, could we have a stamp, please?" And she said, "No." Oh, well, how do you get around this, people? And then she said, "Oh, why don't you visit me at my office?" And we said to her, "But you're not in your office." And she said, "Okay, call me an hour before and I'll go to the office and we'll sort you out." And then the next thing we got was, you can only be granted 15 days. You need to fix your boat, get food, and you need to leave with your boat in 15 days. Then I wish I had this filmed, but Margarita went in with all the information on the iPhone, and it was like in a boxing ring. This other lady, immigration lady, was huge and Margarita was tiny. And the immigration lady, "No, we can't go over 15 days. And Margarita goes, "Yes, but look at this." And she reads it, she goes, "Oh, I haven't seen that before."
Originally, we have, if you enter Panama, you have the right to have 6 months to stay in the country.
Normally.
I took all the decrees and the laws,
Yeah.
everything. I did print screens and saved the links just because I knew it would be like this.
Yeah. So the lady would say, "Oh, yeah, but this is what I'm..." And Margarita would go, "Bow! Kapow! This is the real communication." She'd read it and she'd go, "Oh, shit." And then she'd go, "Oh, hang on. Oh, it's trying to save face. Yeah, but it's this." And Margarita would go, "No, look down line 4. Kapow!" And this lady, she was like teetering on the ropes, people. Bang, bang, bang! Knocked her for a 6. And then at the end of the session, this lady, she was exhausted. Margarita didn't even work up a sweat. And we got 6 months.
Now we're in.
Yes, we're in, people!